Radio Worldwide Sound. TalkTainmentRadio.com. We give you a reason to come. The world's greatest radio. We give you a reason to stay. Radio, the way it should be heard. You got the power.
The views and opinions expressed are those of the host and guest and not necessarily those of TalkTainmentRadio.com, the management, the staff, or K&E World Network, LLC.
This is the Wellness Spot, and I'm TONYA Karen. Wellness is a choice. Wellness is a choice. TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. The world's greatest radio. Radio the way it should be heard. You're in touch with the Wellness Spot, and I'm TONYA Karen. Call in at 1-877-932-9766. Watch us and hear us on Facebook /Talktainment Radio. Music. Does it affect your health? Is your illness a result of the words or the sound in your music? What role does sound play in music? We have with us Isaiah Fields from Simple Records. And we also will have Peggy Hayes from Holistic Health, located in the Radiant Living Building in Canal Winchester. A great topic, music. Does music affect your health and wellness? Thanks for being with me today, Isaiah. How are you?
I'm doing fine. How about yourself?
I'm good. So, Isaiah, let me start with just a little information about yourself before I go into my topic. You have a rich family history of music. So, from what I understand, you have a grandfather, a great-grandfather, and a great-grandmother that are all huge in music. So, tell me a little bit about how you got started in music.
Well, I first started when I was about 5th grade. My dad used to love to play music around the house, as well as my mother. So the song that started me to write my own music was Ice Cube.
Okay.
Ice Cube song.
Ice Cube. Okay. Now, so I let all the people viewing today. You're my youngest son, so what I would call the baby, but I guess I can't do that. But now, my dad is a music man. He used to sing in groups and he used to play music. Your grandfather, Larry Karen, is a well-known producer from Philadelphia. He used to be very involved with music with Patti LaBelle, the Temptations, a lot of different people in the Philadelphia area. Then your great-grandmother, Lucille Karen, was also in music, and the history that I have and that was told to me by family members, she passed away at the age of 27 of cancer, and she gave way to the lady sings the blues, Billie Holiday. She gave way to Billie Holiday because Billie Holiday took her place because of her death. So, do you think that family history with such a rich history in music, did that influence your love for music?
Yes. And innately it was, I think it was encoded in my DNA, something that I always loved. And I can remember back when I was younger, I always had a fond for music. And as I started to get older and started to see the other side of songwriting and everything, that's when the other side of me was sparked. And that's when I started my venture to being an artist my own self. Okay. Now, you opened that can of worms. I didn't open it. You opened it. You said DNA. So why did you open that worm up, that can up? So now I'm going to dive right in and I'm going to help the viewers understand. So you said DNA. So, when we talk about cellular work, I'm always talking about essential oils, and I'm always talking about our cells and what makes the body well. We have 100 trillion cells, and each of those cells have 6 gigabytes of memory. And so when we're talking about
the DNA. And when we're talking about our cells, I'm going to go medical here for just a minute for the viewers. Every cell in your body has what's called a receptor site. And on those receptor sites, that is how information gets into your DNA, and information gets into your cells, which can cause illness or wellness, which is where I wanted to go, but I wasn't going to jump there like that. But you opened that can for the viewers. So on your cells, there's this receptor site, and it has a key and a lock. And the information that is carried into your body through these ligands takes the information to your cell, and when it unlocks that key, that lock with the right key, it will release a chemical that will go into your cells and make changes. So, with saying that, Isaiah, and understanding that we are all created that way, every living thing is created like that. So, these receptor cells receive information, and when they receive information and that lock is turned by that key, then changes make. So the question I have and why I wanted you to come and talk with me today was I wanted to talk about music, because a lot of people sometimes go back and forth with, did sound come first or did light come first? You know, a packet of sound is called a phonon. I don't know if you know that. Kind of makes sense, right? A phonon. A packet of light is called a photon. Okay? So, if we go back to Genesis, now I'm not going to make this a Bible study or anything like that, but I just want to make this point. When you go to Genesis, it clearly states, God said, let there be light. God said, let there be light. And I'm going to leave that there. So the question, did sound come first?
Oh, yes, of course.
All right. So now, did you know that sound is vibration? Vibration is frequency, and frequency is wave. So I had the opportunity this weekend to go to the sound conference in Atlanta, Georgia. And at that sound conference, I learned some amazing things. And I think everyone can identify with this one concept. Hopefully you remember, there was a nice commercial that when I was a young girl was always on TV, Ella Fitzgerald. It was the Memorex. Is it live or is it Memorex? And it was a commercial. And when she would make a high tone, a high frequency with her voice, she would shatter the wine glass. Do you recall seeing that commercial?
I don't recall seeing that commercial. I recall seeing that demonstration being done there.
Okay, so you got to go back because you need to know about Ella Fitzgerald. Ella Fitzgerald is who was on that commercial, very famous African-American woman that would sing such a high pitch that she would shatter the wine glass. So you got to look that up on YouTube or Google that. But anyway, sound is the factor that holds everything together. Did you know that? Yes. Everything owes its existence wholly to sound. Dr. Peter Guy Manners, he did a lot of research, and you can look him up and you can look up cymatics and see that cymatics brings matter to life with sound. So from this conference, what I learned was frequency and sound and vibration can bring wellness or illness to the body. So they did that example. They showed how you can do that high pitch and you could shatter the wine glass, but the vibratory frequencies contained in not only but specific words, but also in tones and in frequency have the power to make cellular changes in our body. So knowing this, simultherapy is the application of an audible sound to the body to help the body repair. And, in a little while, I have Peggy Hayes of Holistic Health. She's located in Radiant Living, and she's going to give us a little background on somatics and how that works. But Isaiah, did you realize that the music that you make, that it has the ability to affect the health and wellness of an individual? Did you know that?
Yes. Oh, yes, of course.
Awesome.
Yeah. Everything you say is has an effect on someone. Like if you take it in the industry aspect, you know, every so many years, somebody comes out with a smash, soulful song that everybody can relate to if they lost a loved one, or there's a smash hit that everybody loves is talking about relationships or getting over a relationship. And when you're feeling down and you just had a breakup and you recall that breakup song that you had. So.
Now, I don't think you know nothing about that, Isaiah, because now for us, for people in my generation, let me just say this, those that are of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now, we had some songs that were really powerful on relationships. We had Teddy Pendergrass, and we had a lot of music that could take you there. We were actually back in that time period. We would just put on what was called an 8-track. I don't even know if you know an 8-track or a reel-to-reel. My dad would just put on the reel-to-reel, and you would just have music for 8 to 10 hours, continuous music, something like you all know as the Apple, the iPod, or what is it called? These little devices now, these little MP3 players. But back then, see, we had a reel-to-reel, and you could play some Teddy Pendergrass and some Smokey Robinson and some Temptations, and those songs would take you there when you were in a relationship, and some Rick James, and you know. But did you know, talking about sound, did you know that the frequency in sound and the tone, see, you don't know nothing about that. You don't know anything about that song right there. Everybody listening is bringing up a memory right then and there of where they were in their car with the sunroof down, or at Franklin Park, walking through Franklin Park. Back in the day, we go to Franklin Park and people would just play music and you just wash your cars.
I heard about that.
Do you know anything about that song?
This right here?
Yeah.
I heard of it.
There's somebody listening right now that is got a smile on their face because they're remembering either someone or they're remembering an event. They can even see the sunshine on that day that they were riding down the street. That's how music can affect you. Music has the ability to bring you up, and it also has the ability to lower your spirits and lower your mood and affect your health. And I don't know if you know this, but back in medieval times, the sound that the instruments made was at a higher frequency than what it is today. So back then, the instruments and the frequency of the sound was changed because, you know, when you think about David and different ones in the Bible that played their harp, they played a tune that brought about wellness, because in that frequency, everything in your body has frequency. Every organ in your body has a specific frequency. And when you look at the frequency of your liver, your pancreas, your brain, your body, when you play a tune or a sound, rather it's through words, rather it's in your music, it can bring about a healing and a repair, or it can also cause depression. Did you know that?
Yes.
So, you know, the reason I wanted to explore this thought about music, what do you think about some of the verbiage that is in music today?
Oh, it's terrible. I personally don't like to listen to it, and if I have to, it's very small amounts. There's no growth. There's nothing being said. It's just random spooge. It's just random things, and it's just more about fame and money, drugs, sex, and girls, and it's really no full human aspect to it like it was back in the days. Like,
yes,
it had a little bit of everything, full growth. You know, you had bad times. Everybody goes through bad times. Everybody does some things that, you know, your mother may not be proud of, but they also, excuse me, they also have a message in there,
yes,
of growth and how they came through it and why are they pushing and striving to be better. And now it's just, it's almost like people are selling into that negativity and just living in it.
Yes, and I think that has to do with money, you know, like you said, a message. I like what you said, a message. While we're there with that word, I want to just tell our viewers to watch the live broadcast of the Wellness Spot. Go to the YouTube, type in the word Talktainment, then hit the space bar and type radio. Scroll down to Talktainment 2 live on YouTube and watch the live broadcast, or watch the replay on Facebook. You can hear us live at talktainmentradio.com. Please like us and subscribe and hear us live at talktainmentradio.com. So you're right, Isaiah. The message back then, like that song we just played, Better Let It Go. That song sent a message. Music could be played at any time, whether it was of a religious, gospel, country, rock. I mean, music was able to lift people and also to bring people together, because music has a message. And today, me, you know, I'm a grandmother, you know that. I don't think it has anything to do with my age, but it's disturbing, the words that are in the music, that I don't want my grandchildren to listen to music today. I don't like listening to it. I have to go back and play the old school music, because the music today it's not appealing, and it's disturbing, you know, how they degrade women and how the cuss words and the negative words in the music. Oh, we got a caller. I think this is Peggy.
Yes.
Hi, Peggy. How are you?
I am well, thank you.
Well, Peggy, again, you are from Hayes Holistic Health, located in the Radiant Living Building in Canal, Winchester. And Peggy, you're a simultherapy expert. Is that right?
That's correct.
Can you tell me just a little bit about simultherapy?
Simultherapy is the use of audible sound to assist the body in returning to wellness. Very long story short, the device that I have is programmed with the audible sound frequency that corresponds to the vibratory frequency of healthy tissue.
Okay.
So when tissue that is out of balance is exposed to the sound that it should be making at the vibration rate that God created it, then the body begins to vibrate in resonance with the sound, much like a piano tuner using a tuning fork.
Yes.
Tune the piano, and when the body becomes in tune, then it can heal itself and return to its natural state of health.
You know, Isaiah opened up that can about DNA. So you're talking about sound being able to make changes in the DNA, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
So tell us, you know, I mentioned a little bit earlier, how is it that music today is different from music in medieval times?
In medieval times, they had a different way of tuning the instruments that they had. It was called just intonation, and each note varied by degrees of vibration.
Okay.
So one note differed from the other just by increments of degrees. And fast forward in time a little bit, after medieval times, they began using what they call the 12-tone temperament. And that divided notes into artificial segments. So instead of going up by 1 degree, there were 12 demarcations. And so from one note to the next note was a specific 12, was an interval. And that left out a whole bunch of things. So you could only go from one note to the next and all of the degrees of sound in between were no longer available due to the instrumentation. And when that happened, the healing properties of sound kind of took a back seat, because when you leave all those out, you don't get the vibratory frequency of the cells. So
Isaiah here, he's the producer of Simple Records, and he's a composer, and so he can't get those tunes that we could get back in that time period. He's not able to even get that frequency today, right?
Actually, he can get to it. It's been rediscovered not too long ago, the last 15 or 20 years. And the scale is called the solfeggio, SOLFEGGIO, the solfeggio scale.
Okay.
And it actually does move from one note to the next in increments of degrees of vibration. And there are apps out there that will take a current song and will retune it to those frequencies so that it gets a close approximation. One of the notes in the solfeggio scale is the mi note,
right?
And it vibrates at 528 hertz. The closest thing that we have to that in the scale that we are familiar with today is C above middle C, but it does not vibrate at the 528 hertz, since the 528 hertz is one of the most important frequencies for actually helping the body reprogram itself to vibrate correctly and healthfully.
Now you said the mi note. So is that the old? I'm not a singer. I'm not going to sing because nobody would like that. But back when I was in school and we took music, was it do re mi?
Yes.
How's that go?
Do re mi fa sol la ti do.
Okay.
And the ancient solfeggio scale was ut re mi fa sol la do ti, and the names of the notes were taken from a medieval hymn that was written in Latin that was dedicated to John the Baptist, and they took the first letter of each line, and that's what they used to name the notes. And the notes actually were each successive line was 1 degree different from either the line before or the line after it, and so that's what they used to name the notes of that particular scale.
Okay. So I have a question while I have you on the line with Isaiah. What role does music have on wellness?
Because your body is, if you're alive, you're vibrating.
Okay.
And music or sound, just sound in general, has an effect upon the vibration in your cells. If anyone's ever been in traffic and been behind somebody that's boom, boom, booming, you can feel it in your chest.
Yes.
If you've ever been to a concert, you can feel it. There are composers out there or even Beethoven was completely deaf, and they could compose music. There are composers today that compose because they can feel the vibration of the floor made by the instrument. So the vibration of sound goes into your body and it vibrates your cells, and you can vibrate them in a way that is constructive, or you can vibrate them in a way that is destructive.
Well, I have a question for you. So if everything is frequency and vibration, words have frequency, music has frequency, our body and our organs have frequency. You know, I see a lot of young people walking down the street with headphones on, and like you said, they got the music real loud, and a lot of it is me and Isaiah were just talking about cuss words and, negative words. How does this impact the wellness of that person that's walking around with those headphones on?
It's destructive to their cells. It's destructive. The brain has a quality called neuroplasticity. It's able to adapt, and when you bombard it with frequencies, like if they're wearing headphones and those frequencies are going into that brain tissue, it changes the way the structure of the brain works. It changes the body's ability to function in certain ways. There are experiments that people have done using plants, and kids have done it I had kids when I taught school that did it for science experiments. They took two plants, gave them the same water, same sunlight, same everything else, and hooked them up to headphones. One of them got classical music, which is closer to the kind of tones that you'll hear in solfeggio, and the other one they hooked up to rock and roll or hip-hop, and the ones with the classical notes did much better in terms of healthiness and in terms of growth than the ones that were hooked up to sounds that were dissonant, were not in harmony with the cellular structure of the plant. So it has a huge difference on health. And then when you talk about words themselves have frequency. There's a scientist, he's deceased now, but who from Japan, Dr. Masaru Emoto, who wrote a series of things called, one of his books was Messages in Water, and he actually used the written word and the spoken word to change the cellular structure of water. He took water droplets from various places, froze them, and then as they thawed, microscopically photographed, and they looked like snowflakes, and the ones that came from dirty water were misshapen and distorted. And he was able to take water that was misshapen and distorted and either write words on the glass or speak words over the water, and then take another sample, and they changed to a more balanced pattern. So if anyone wants to get a visual on that his work is just magnificent to look at the effect of the written and the spoken word on the crystalline structure, the matrix structure of water.
And you mentioned something about the brain. I just wanted to do a little medical on that the brain waves are measured in hertz, while the human body and essential oils are in megahertz. So 1 million times faster, okay? So 1 million hertz equals 1 megahertz. And, just to kind of give people an idea of what we're talking about when we're saying that, the sound and wearing those headphones, when it comes to brain waves and frequency, because everything is frequency and vibration, the unconscious works on delta and theta, okay? And the conscious, we'll get that when we get back. Peggy, I want to thank you for being with me, and I will make sure to mention how they can contact you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. TalkTainmentRadio.com. We go where you go. Call us at 1-877-932-9766. The music you listen to, how is it affecting your health? Next on Talktainment.
Stand by for an important announcement.
Mortgage interest rates are the lowest in history. Did you hear that? Mortgage interest rates are the lowest in history. You can buy a home from Lenco Realty for less than rent. For details, call 614-375-2BUY. That's 614-375-2289. Or log on to repohomelist.com. That's repohomelist.com and claim your American dream.
Pastor Clifford Riley and the congregation at Mount Gerizim Missionary Baptist Church cordially invite you to worship with us. Yes, come to the Mountain of Blessings for a spirited, love-filled experience. Our Sunday services and twice on Wednesday Bible study will change your life. We are located at 2633 Mock Road, and our phone number is 614-475-9712. Again, 2633 Mock Road, or call 614-475-9712.
Earn a certification in healthcare, business, or manufacturing while achieving your high school diploma at Life Skills High School, a free public option for Ohio students 16 to 21 years old. Visit their website today at lifeskillshs.org or call them at 1-800-888-7992.
For the best home fragrance and beauty products, shop Ash Kitchen online.
That's ASH
K-I-C-K-I-N.
Made with 100% natural quality ingredients and handcrafted with your family in mind, Ash Kickin' products are better than those other guys. Ash Kickin' candles, incense, body butter, face moisturizer, and hair moisturizer are priced just right, and you can get yours at 10% off with coupon code TALK17. Support this 100% black-owned business and get your home and body smelling and feeling all right.
That's A-S-H-K-I-C-K-I-N.
Shop Ash Kickin' online at www.ashkickin.com.
This is Al Edmondson, owner of a Cutter Brother Rest Barbershop. I'm calling on all barbers and beauticians. It's time for us to unite as one. We can serve our communities better together. Join the Ohio Black Barber Beauty Network. For more information, visit www.obbn.org or call 614-427-3226 to get more information. Be the change that you want to see in your community. Join our network.
If you or a woman you know is abusing drugs and or alcohol and you want to stop the abuse, contact APDS at 1409 East Livingston Avenue. Office hours are 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. daily and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday. APDS is certified by the Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services and primarily funded through the Adam H. Board. Fees are based on your income and Medicaid is always accepted. For more information, call 614-253-4448.
My suit can still make an impression.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill, it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Through the love, through the struggle, babe. Through the sex, through the drugs, through the lust, girl. I see you, you see me. I see you, you see me. I'm for you, you for me.
From the jump, told you I was all about making money with my baby, but I can go without. You can ask my bro, I can change him out. I need somebody down who could thug it through. You see what I'm saying? Is you gon' help her leave? You see me falling back, baby girl, take the lead. Why you reaching for your keys instead of proceed? See, this is what I don't need. Let me balance out my wants and needs. You the only one who I want and need.
Am I the only one you really want and need?
Yeah, what you want me to beg and plead? You the only one who I want to need. Got my soul open, are you eclipsing me? The struggle that makes you want to leave. I told you only lasts for the moment.
TalkTainmentRadio.com. We're here with Isaiah Fields of Simple Records, aka PD Kid. This is one of his songs that you can get to by SoundCloud or iTunes. So we're talking about the music you listen to. How is it affecting your health? And before the break, I just want to finish that thought about the brain, and then I want to hear something from you, Isaiah. Before I go into the brain, to watch us live broadcast of Wellness Spot, go to YouTube, type in the word Talktainment, then hit the space bar and type radio. Scroll down to Talktainment 2 live on YouTube and watch the live broadcast. Watch for the replay on Facebook. You can hear us live at TalkTainmentRadio.com. Please like us and subscribe and hear us live at TalkTainmentRadio.com. Call in 1-877-932-9766. We'd like to get you in on the conversation. We're talking about music and how music affects your health and wellness. And before the break, I was talking with Peggy, and Peggy mentioned something about how wearing headphones can affect your brain. And I was making mention of how the brain waves are measured in hertz. And when we talk about the body and essential oils, we talk about megahertz. So when we talk about brain waves, there's two brain waves that are unconscious, and that's the delta and the theta, Theta. Delta is our instinct, our survival, our deep sleep, our healing, our coma. Our theta, Theta, our urges, our feelings, our sensations, and our dreams. That's where our emotion, okay? And then when we're conscious, we have alpha, beta, and gamma. Alpha is our consciousness, our awareness of body, our feelings. Beta is our thought, our perception, our social interaction, our concentration, our mental activity. And then last, gamma, which is our free will, our hyperfocus, our energy, our super learning, our inspiration. And Isaiah has a big inspiration for music. Now, he mentioned a little bit earlier how he started his love for music back in 5th grade. So, Isaiah, we heard your song, Moments.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very nice song. Talking about, sound like a young lady in there.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that song.
That song came about, I believe it's like 2014, 2015, somewhere around there. It was just me and my friend Kay Gross, who's also the owner of the label with me. We was at home and we was going through beats and we came across that song, and how we started the process, it was we would listen to the beat first and listen to how the beat made us feel, and then we derive the whole story and everything that we wanted to talk about around that. So, and it started out like that, and it first starts with a melodic tone, a melody, and then we form words and story and package it up all like that.
Okay, so you mentioned something that kind of intrigued me there. You said that you sit around and you listen to the melody and the tone, and then you form the creation. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay. Now might get you in trouble here. Where's Kevin at today? Why is Kevin not here with you today?
He had to work.
Okay.
But yes.
All right. So right now you're two working artists.
Yes.
Okay.
Striving artists.
Okay. So now you said that when you compose a song, you listen to the music and then you come up with the words, so it kind of speaks to you. In other words, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. It gives us the vibe, the vibration, the short term for vibration. It gives us the vibe that we need to make the song complete, to complete the instrumental. Otherwise, if you're somewhere else and the beat is somewhere totally different, you're clashing. It's not really a melting pot. You're just two separate entities on this track, and it's not meshing. And it's just going and going, and the vibe is everywhere. The wavelength is everywhere.
So now, do you play any instruments?
No, I do not currently.
Okay. Now, you said something there. So how do you feel when you create music?
Oh, I'm at my highest peak. I feel it's an amazing feeling I get when I create music. Like last night, I created a song, and it's exuberating. It feels amazing to create something from nothing, and to put this whole thing, get this whole story, this whole backdrop and everything, and it just feels amazing to create something from nothing.
So, I was just talking about the brain waves and the frequencies and the vibrations, and you break vibrations down, the vibe, and I said the gamma, hyperfocus, energy, super learning, inspiration. So I'm going to say that you're probably touching into some of that gamma and that consciousness part and exciting that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you create a song or you create a record or an album, before my show, did you think about affecting a person's illness or wellness when you create your music? Is that something that you think about?
Of course. Every artist thinks about like what their music is gonna do for someone else. as you this is a business at the end of the day, and if you can't invoke the value into somebody, into your music, then why should they listen to your music? If they're not gaining anything from your music, so why should they listen to it? So every artist thinks about it. Every artist has this going through their mind. They may not know the term, the concept of it, but they think about it and incorporate it in their music.
Do you think artists out here today understand that when they make music that has negative words that call, and I'm not going to stay on that, because it's all kind of music out there. There's heavy metal. There's all kind of music that destroys sales. But I'm talking about us. I'm talking about music that has negative words that depicts women in a derogatory way. That music is not healing the body. That music is destroying sales. That music is leading and helping to keep people in illness. It's affecting our people, our young people. Our young people are walking around with headphones on, listening to music that is causing cellular damage. I can't put that any other way. It leads to depression. It leads to negative thoughts. It helps to add to those feelings of sadness, those feelings of destruction. It does not bring wellness to the body.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all. It's you can see it in the youth, and you can see it in their attitude. You can see how they dress, and 9 times out of 10, if you look at the most popular artists of that time, and then you look at the youth and how they dress, it's almost a mimicry. They try to mimic that without even thinking.
I'm so glad you said that, and I didn't say that. I'm so glad you said that, and that didn't come out my mouth. But since you said it, that's another can you open, because we played that song earlier from my time period, and you can see, based on what you just said, back then artists came on stage, or when they performed, I don't remember. If you go back and look at videos, you won't see too many artists with tennis shoes on, with a t-shirt on. They had on a suit, and they might have all had on a green suit or all had on a yellow suit, but they had on some dress shoes, and they were what I call popping and ticking, and they were moving and grooving. The women were dressed. Everybody was dressed, and they were having a good time. Much different than today, where, like you said, the artists they got jeans on and cut up jeans, and jeans hanging down below their butt. And so we have our young people that are dressing the same, and it does matter. So I'm so glad you said that, and I didn't have to say that one. But so as an artist, when you create music that people want to listen to, that will affect them in a positive way. It gives a message. You talked about that earlier. It gives a message. What message does Simple Records want to put out here in the community?
Well, Simple Records stands for Spoiled Youth, Mixed Feelings, and Acquired Logic.
Oh, say that slower. I missed it.
Simple Records, SYMPAL, Spoiled Youth, Mixed Feelings, and Acquired Logic. Spoiled youth, not with trinkets or anything, but with time. As growing up, we had hardworking single mothers, or we had hardworking parents, to where a lot of times after school we had a lot of free time. So it was just spoiled with time and freedom to do whatever we want, and get into mischief or play with friends or do the right thing. Mixed feelings, we hardly, in our generation, in our culture, and with our people, we hardly had somebody to guide us and explain our feelings and explain in detail and in an effective way that we will learn how to go about relationships, friends, and parents, hardships, and stuff like that. So we had mixed feelings. And then acquired logic is essentially that. Acquired logic, over time, we acquire logic to deal with those things, acquire logic and how to move better and how to be better as human beings. And the message Simple Records wants to put out there is, be the best you, be who you are, love yourself, and, don't change just because someone says, hey, this is the new fad. You don't start a new fad by entertaining the existing fad. You become yourself, and that's what a lot of people did. Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, the Jay-Z's, the Nas, they took their own path, they did their own path, and now look at where they're at. Everybody wants to be them now.
Okay. So SYMPAL, SYMPAL,
yes.
Spoiled youth, mixed feelings, acquired logic.
Yes.
Be the best you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's interesting. I never knew what that stood for, and that's pretty powerful. Words are powerful. We talked a lot about the sound, but there is word and sound. So when we talk about music, we don't just talk about the vibration and the frequency of the tone, but even word has vibration. Everything has vibration and has a wave and has a tone to it. So, I talk a lot on the show, and I'm going to always repeat it any chance I get, that the power of language and the things that it can affect are almost beyond our imagination. Our words are so powerful. I mean, it's amazing what you can do with the vehicle of words. Words bring either life or death. They have the ability to heal or to kill. I say 1 minute of anger weakens the immune system for 4 to 5 hours. 1 minute of laughter boosts the immune system for 24 hours. And that's something that I learned in an AEP, which is called an Anointed Emotional Processing class in St. Louis by a wonderful teacher, Patty Caldera. And she helps you to understand the power of frequency, the power of words. So, when we think about our DNA and words and those receptor sites, we have to understand that with music, we can heal the body. Now, I don't know if you watched that, What's America's Got Talent. Do you watch that show?
Yes.
Did you see there's a young lady from Nigeria who was 2 people survived a plane crash. Out of, I think it was 179, only 2 people survived. She was one of them, and she's a singer now. You have to look her up. And she said what kept her was music. So music is powerful.
Of course. You can change the whole mood of the day. It can, it can get you through a breakup. It can, liven the mood. You got friends over, you play, they have the thing, elevator music that you play on the elevator, It's music is a part of us. It's a part of everything that we do, you have motivational music, and you have, the music just to calm you down. You have the nice wine after work, and the stress release music that just smooths you right out to help you go to sleep.
Yes, and they tell you that when a baby is in the womb, you should play music, and it's a proven fact that if you play music during study time, now, of course, you got to play the right music that will elicit and will help induce positivity during study time. You can see changes in a person's grade. You can see changes in a person's attitude. And isn't it amazing that when a young person, like 1 year old, you can put some music on and they will start to bebop to the music. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
Yes. Everything has resonance. Everything has vibration. Vibration is energy. Frequency is energy. Everything is affected by sound and by word. So what's your next song that you are creating or album that you're working on? Are you working on something that from today you're going to create something that can bring about a wellness in the body?
Well, my next album is called For Pete's Sake, and I just currently started working on it. Just found my heading for it, and now I'm heading in that direction. And the first song I created is called Golden Souls, and it's just about, companionship and how today it's kind of a lost thing of having just one companion and just one best friend or someone you just love and you vibe with. So this song is more about, just identifying and understanding and studying and being with that one person and just, vibing, having fun with just that one person and just loving them. So, yeah, for peace sake, it's going to be a more upbeat to bring more of a happiness, more of a good feeling and a good vibe that you can listen to when you riding or with any situation.
Well, I was also in a class this weekend, and it was a chemistry class. It was a chemistry class for essential oils. It was taught by Rehab Sawa. And in this class, she said something that blew me away. When we talk about energy and frequency and vibration, and we talk about waves and the resonance, she said resonance is the signature of God. Okay? Can now let me say that one more time. She said resonance is the signature of God, and that shows God's love. And when you think about it, again, God said, "Let there be light." So God spoke most things into existence. But when we think about how he created us, how he created this wonderful body, that all of our cells need frequency and vibration in order to be well. Anyone can Google and say, what's the frequency of my liver? What's the frequency of my heart? What's the frequency of my pancreas? What's the frequency of my gallbladder? And when you can find out the frequency, the normal frequency of a human body, or the healthy frequency of a human body, is 68 to 70 megahertz. The brain, 70 megahertz, 70 to 90 megahertz. So when you find out the frequency of your organs, and when you understand how the endocrine system works and how ligands sing a song and sing a tune, and they sing the right tune, they take the information to the right organ, and then they put the key in the lock and unlock that key and deposit correct information to change DNA. So subsequently, Isaiah, your music can bring about a wellness to a person. Words can bring wellness. Words like love, words, I love you, you are beautiful, you are worthy. Just speaking positive words. A lot of people in a day may not hear positive words. So music with a good upbeat and positive words can be a lift up for some people.
Of course. There's not enough of it going around, but it is some slowly but surely it's coming in, and with bad you have good. So it's making its way back, and a lot of people, from what I hear, is getting tired of the music on the radio, and they want more wholesome, more music that they can feel and vibe to, and it's coming back in a big way.
Yeah, because you mentioned that how the dress of the entertainer. I'm gonna ask a question. When you listen to music back in the day, because I know you are a man that loves a lot of different genres of music. When you listen to some old school music, as I could say, or some R&B, there's some original music out there that is just amazing. Who would you consider a good artist that you enjoy?
As in like modern or like back in the day?
Both. Give me both.
Well, right now that's in music that's out now is J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, the Jay-Z, Nas, Eminem, Big Crit, and these are people that's in like the new modern times, and that they are bringing back the message in music. They're bringing back the I made mistakes, but I'm striving to get better. I'm striving to be better. I'm striving to own my own me, and own my own mental, and and then for the back in the day, I have a plethora of old music that I love like the OJs, Cry for You, Cry Together, the Jodeci, Genuine, Joe. It's a lot.
Well, now, if the listeners, you said that if the listeners wanted to hear some of your music or get in touch with you or see you perform. I know I came to a concert at Scully's. Are you still performing at Scully's here and there?
Yes, ma'am. We performing all throughout of Columbus. At the moment we are kind of in album mode, so we're kind of in the shadows right now. But we're gearing up for next year, and actually, Kate Gross has a show in Atlanta in December.
In Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So, Simple Records, which stands for Spoiled Youth, Mixed Feelings, Acquired Logic, Be the Best You, and they can listen to some of your music on SoundCloud.
Yes, ma'am. SoundCloud.com/PeteKid Pete-Kid-1.
Pete as in P-E-T-E?
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you talk to youth? Do you do anything with youth as to help them see how music can help with wellness and not illness? Is that something that I can inspire you to do here soon?
Actually, it's already in the works. I have a good friend of mine by the name of Julian Harris. He just graduated with his master's from Youngstown State, and he in social work, so he's a counselor at Northland High School, and this is something that me and him talk about and trying to gather the youth and preach to them. You know, everybody always says, you know, we have enough football players or basketball players, be a doctor or a lawyer. I have a particular problem with that because, you know, be who you would like to be. You know, you see that football player, if that's something that you would like to do, then let's get you in the right steps to be who you want to be. If you see a musician and that's what you want to be, let's get you in the right position to be what you want to be, and also help you with a plan B if that doesn't work out for you, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because, you know, there are more careers out there than football, than basketball, than music. You know, there's doctors and lawyers. And I think that goes to knowing that you're worthy. And that goes to some of the words, because words get downloaded to us. And sometimes you agree with them at a young age, and we never needed to agree with those words. Rather, it's you're never going to be anything. Rather, it came from a family member, a teacher, a coach, a friend. You know, sometimes kids they're coming from their inaccurate perception or things that were downloaded to them, and they may say something that makes the person think that they're not worthy to become great, to become something more than a basketball player or a musician, or you know, that they can't strive to be an astronaut, can't strive to be a physics person. So, you know, I think that's important that we go back. We got to go back. And I like what your simple record means: spoiled youth, mixed feelings, acquired logic. I hope to hear that, you know, you're out there inspiring youth, helping them to make a difference. You know, I want to say a little bit about Peggy Hayes. She does simultherapy at Hayes Holistic Health. That's located in the Radiant Living building. It's at 81 Waterloo. And of course, you can always get me at Talktainment Radio, the wellness spot. And how you do that is you go to YouTube, type in the word Talktainment, then hit the space bar and type radio, scroll down to Talk